You can pivot.
I actually got a wee screenshot from one of your Instagram accounts you posted the other day.
One of mine?
No, it's actually Jules, but I thought it was funny.
Can of Coke on here, boys.
But I thought this was funny. I thought I wanted to read it out to you. So you were saying here, when I was in school, my maths teacher told me that I should stop practicing magic because it was a waste of my time.
Yeah.
Still can't do algebra, just doing fine. I thought that was good.
And
I was
it
like,
rhymed accidentally.
yeah.
It's a nice
Or maybe I don't know, but
No,
it was
I
good.
remember the exact time because there were a few moments in school or a few teachers that did piss me off. Most of them were class. Bangor Grammar School is a great school. The teachers are all amazing. You should go. But there's always a few bad eggs, and
Yeah, always.
there always are, and there were a few that I just did not like.
No.
And I think it wasn't even because they were bad people. I think they just couldn't see things from any other perspective apart from their very own limited one. And my maths teacher was quite, I won't name names, but I just didn't like him.
Yeah.
He didn't like me either. To be fair, credit to him, I was probably a pain in the ass. Like I'd be sitting there in class.
Were you
filling
doing
out my
the art or were
cards
you
and-
like, guys, watch this?
No, I probably was quite bad. Like I was a good student, but I just didn't.
You weren't bothered like with
I
maths.
wasn't bothered.
Yeah,
with
when
that.
you were good
And then
at
he
maths.
kept telling me, Joe, listen, you just need to focus and do it. And I'm like,
Is that what he sounded like?
yeah. He had a higher voice than that, I think, and they were, you know who it was.
Yeah.
But at one point, I remember I came in and what was it? Like in his, I don't think I'd completed my homework. Basically, and the reason I hadn't is I had left school, got straight into the car, went and did a show. I'd done like my first full show. At like 17, I like sold tickets, done this thing, so I just hadn't got my homework. And I think if I just said, oh, I didn't do my homework, it would have been okay. But I probably was like, I didn't do my homework because of this. And he slated me. It was like, waste of time, it's stupid, like you're gonna have to focus and blah, blah, blah.
Does he come to the shows now?
Do you know what? He didn't. One of them did actually.
Yeah, did
one
they?
of them did.
Yeah.
There's loads of them do come and they're all lovely. But again,
Is that not the
I sound really
best
salty.
feeling ever?
To be honest, like I've even catch myself. I am a bit salty about it because it's really annoying. And when you're in school and you have this kind of like dream for what you want to do, and you just have this adult telling you that it's stupid. It's like
It's not even
maybe
annoying for you now
but-
because you've proven yourself. It's like, what are they saying to these younger kids as well? Like there's
not
probably
like-
so many
yeah,
people that are so
yeah.
talented and they're just like, oh, I just have to go and do this normal job because my maths teacher told me to do that.
I
And
know.
it's kind of upsetting, like in some ways.
Well, I was always, to a fault, like pretty like, no, I'm going to do this. So people like that didn't really knock me off.
Yeah.
But can you imagine the amount of people that absolutely, as you say, have the talent to do something great that just don't because one clown told them they shouldn't?
yeah.
And for what reason? Like that maths teacher it doesn't make a difference to him at all whether I went and did that or didn't. So just say nothing. Like,
Yeah.
why not encourage it?
Yeah.
How you guys finding the TikTok house?
You know what? We had a really good time.
Yeah.
We were in for the first 2 days and then we came back on the last day.
What's it
Everyone-
like? Is it like, it's mad that's in Northern Ireland.
I know,
You
it's
think
pretty
about
bizarre.
America, like UK, but like here, like
It was class. Like,
It was really good.
really fun. The activities, we got to go go-karting again.
Yeah.
The outdoor one up in Notts Corner. and
crack's
it's-
probably 90, is it?
It's the best. Like
Yeah,
they go
we're so
55 mile an hour.
Yeah, it's
Class.
great fun, especially on a dry day.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We'd be pretty competitive with stuff like that, in fairness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who won?
and
I beat him on the dry by 1 second. He
Yeah.
smashed me on the wet surface.
I
It's
still
like a-
mean I think Ethan won that race because I count it more on the dry. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But it was at least a draw.
Yeah, we called a draw.
I got the medal.
Who's your favourite? Is there like someone you like, like collaborating with?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because we have each other, like my whole thing is people are like, you should do more collabs. I'm like, yeah, probably, but also
You have your brother.
I know that they're not
Yeah.
going to be as good on camera for my stuff as Ethan is. So I just never really bother, but possibly I should. There's great people out there. I would like to maybe involve some more people at some point, but
But you probably just click that well. You know, like it's like
Yeah.
why sort of collab when you
well, you
do
should
click
read
that
the
well?
comments whenever Ethan isn't in the videos. Like
Yeah.
if it's somebody else, people are angry, man. Like they're like, bring them back.
It's like a cult nearly. They're like, where is it?
Yeah. Well, it is like I have to remind people that, like, of course, I'm doing the magic and stuff, but it absolutely is 50-50. Like, we put this, I maybe put a bit more work into planning the tricks and stuff, but Ethan's there for the same amount of filming. So like,
My best
Of
job is
course
setting
you
up the
should-
lights. I'm the light boy.
You are good at
I put
that.
the lights up.
Also, like here, is it okay?
I'm a big fan of that. Like, we might have to actually.
we filmed down here
Figure that out.
last summer. We usually just film upstairs now, and if you
Yeah.
look at, I'll show you afterwards. Oh, it's not at the minute, but usually if you look up, my apartment looks like some sort of meth lab or something because it has it's entirely blacked out. Like all the windows are just.
Down.
Yeah.
Well, no, we have
All
big,
big
massive
black
like black
curtains.
curtains over them. But from the other side, it's almost like reflective material. It looks really dodgy.
Is that where you do all your filming then? Up in,
Yeah.
like your
At the minute.
Yeah.
We're looking for a space, so that's the next move.
That's the next big one.
Yeah, I'm expecting a call from an agent today actually, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get it across the line.
Fingers
Just
crossed.
studio space, we'll see.
It was actually really good speaking to you at the Think Network event.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, me and Ross were actually getting to speak to you. And how do you find that? You're not in the...
I'm not. No, I have no idea. No idea what they're doing.
You're not.
I should probably get.
But
there,
it's
to be
mainly
honest.
just because you're away. I think that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're usually away in uni. They're great. Yeah. I think it's really important to connect with people and surround yourself with other people that are on their path. You know, because you can feel like a bit of an alien if you're just every day working at something and you're not talking to people who are on the same sort of thing.
And the people come up to you like, you know, all the time through those events. I know we did technically, but
Yeah, but I mean, it's the type of people you want to chat to, really,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
That's the beauty about that. Is it's not. You don't run the risk of talking to someone who is a time waster. Like if someone's at that type of thing,
They're in
Aye,
their
they're-
space.
they're
it's
driving,
like
they're
the-
doing their thing.
the
Yeah.
Tom Smith event, actually, you were there as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, that's, I think, the first time were you there, no? Maybe
No,
not.
I
don't think you
didn't
were.
Because there was the January
I
one.
miss so much.
Yeah, I know. That's where we ran into you, and then over in the Winslow event,
That's right.
you were doing your event. I think the funniest, you were doing like the opening.
I was.
Yeah, there's one thing you do, right? It's like you do the trick, but then you sort of pretend you messed up, and then you bring it back. Like is that all part of it, or is that like?
So I'll explain why I do it. So if you imagine, it's expectations, right?
Yeah.
So if you say, I'm going to read your mind, and you do it, it's like, but if you say, I'm going to read your mind, and then you don't, you're taking like the reaction level down.
Yeah.
So then when you hit it, it's
Like
above
a-
where they even thought in the first place. So you just get a better hit. If you do it over and over and over again, it doesn't work. But it's like it's a twist,
Yeah.
like a twist in a movie or a story. That's
It's a nice reveal at the end.
Yeah.
Like you've done a few tricks where you have like it on a big page and everyone's like flip it and then they're like
Oh, it's the reaction
Yeah,
at the end.
yeah,
You must
yeah.
get like such a kick out of that. do you not?
It's a drama thing though, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because if you just a mind reading show, which is basically what my show is basically think of something, this is it, think of something, this is it, or think of something, I knew it was going to be that, and it's the same thing over and over. And if you can't dramatically get it to work, it's actually a very boring show after a while. Believe it or not, people will get very used to the fact that you can read your mind, which sounds stupid, but
Yeah.
like if they've seen it 3 times in the show, you have to switch.
What
it
is your
up.
job as well? to
Well,
read
yeah.
it?
So yeah,
As a mentalist,
that's
like,
exactly
that's what they
it. Like if I
expect,
don't
isn't
do that, then what have they paid the ticket
Yeah.
price for? So you
Remember
have to give them
Tom-
something more.
Tom came out and was like, did he mess that up? I know, it was just, it was
That was
funny.
right because he caught the actual reveal that he had gone out, obviously getting mic'd up or something, so he didn't see that I got it right. He just saw me getting it
Get
wrong.
it wrong.
So I had to be like, Tom, here, listen.
Yeah.
I'm actually
got it
okay at my job, I swear. Yeah.
I see your videos, right? They get so many views, right? But you are so young. How do you handle like the huge amounts of success? And like I was having a quick flick through like comments. Some people like hate against it as well. Like how do you handle that?
Well, you went through a long period where you never read any of the comments, and I thought that was a wee bit silly because most of the comments are really nice, and
Yeah.
most of the comments are things that people want to see. So I thought
Yeah.
that was important. But honestly, I don't know whether it's from being from here. Everyone just kind of keeps you grounded because I know if Joel was in America and he had 17 million followers, people would be all over him, big-headed and everything. I don't know whether that's either just Joel or it's just from being from Northern Ireland. Like I really don't know, but it is nice. Like seeing
it's
our
nice.
videos get views.
Do you know
fine,
the
it's
only
like-
reason I don't read the comments as much now is we're busy filming, and the
Yeah,
way I
busy.
always saw it was I was like, listen, you might miss some really nice things. And I do, if I'm sitting and I have 5 minutes, I will go in.
Yeah.
But you do run the risk of seeing one that just will piss you off. Like,
Yeah.
and you can have all the mental strength in the world, but see if you read a comment when you're just not in the right mood or something, it can really annoy you for a long time.
Yeah.
So for me, it just wasn't worth doing that. It just wasn't. Like, I'm not going to ruin my week because some clowns. I don't know.
It can very easily as well. It really can.
And I don't care. And I was like, I don't care what people think, and I don't really. But like, still, when you've put a lot of work into something, and you know you're doing it purely because you want to put something nice out, and someone just says something rude,
And it is
takes
nice.
them 2
It's
seconds.
never like there's no you don't put out like hate or nothing.
No,
It's
No, it's
good.
all fun uplifting stuff. So that's why I was just like, listen, I'm not getting anything from reading these negative comments. And some people would be like, go in, have a chat, check they're okay. I'm like, dude, that's their problem. If they're in a position where they want to leave that negative comment, it's nothing to do with me. Like, let
Yeah.
them do it.
Some people just do it for attention as well to get you to reply.
Exactly.
And then they're like, oh, I actually love you. I'm your biggest fan. And
So
I'm like, so
strange,
just be
isn't it?
really nice.
Yeah.
So listen, the way I see it is I would much rather than sit and like reply to a hate comment, I would rather send a text to my mum or chat with Ethan. And again, like, I'm not saying I never go and reply to lovely comments, because I do. I will reply to DMs, all of them pretty much. We get to all of them, because if someone takes, unless it's a nasty one, at which point I'm just like, I don't have to reply to this. I used to think I had to, but at some point you just go, you know what? Because if you take one of the comments that people says, can you imagine someone walked up to you on the street and was like, you're a gimp? You'd be like,
whoa,
what? But suddenly that's okay as a social media comment, you know what I mean?
Keyboard warriors.
Because if that was in real life, you'd probably just go and just walk on. So I have no problem doing that with social media comments.
But how do you handle like rejection and like failure?
Well, I mean, I know both of us see it the same way. We're just like, right, if we just keep swinging, we're gonna hit again. Like that's the mentality we have, is we'll just outlast people. And if you just keep going for long enough, you have to be really daft not to win at some point.
Yeah.
The other thing is,
I experience it in terms of
right.
social media. I definitely experience failure more than Joel does. Joel's videos always get a certain amount of views, whereas mine are like getting capped now at 5,000 views, and I've got 900,000 followers. Like I should be getting a lot more than that. And it used to really annoy me. Like I would be sitting telling Joel, I'd be like, "This is crap. Like why is my account just failing?" And then you realise like I still am part of his videos as well. I don't even really care about my account as much as I used to. But yeah, we just keep going. Like all our videos will sometimes they'll get 300,000 views, and I know that's a lot of views. 3 months time, they're up to 3 million, and then they're up. They just climb at different points. Like, you know. So.
The way I've always framed it in my head, and I can't remember who said this, but I was like, whoa, I'm just gonna live like that for the rest of my life, which is when something bad happens, or you run into failure, which what even is that, depends how you define it, just see it and say to yourself, oh, this will just be part of the story I tell. Like in 10 years when I'm on a podcast, for example, it's a lot cooler to be like, yeah, loads of bad stuff happened, but I kept going anyway. So that's what I have in my head.
It's like a superhero film, or like any film always has like good and then a big dip, and then always seem to come back at the end. It's like, you're right, it sort of makes the story, really, doesn't it?
You know of the guy, rest in peace, Bob Proctor?
Yes.
He told a story.
We were talking about him one night.
Oh man, he was a G. I was really sad when he died. But he told a story about like his wife was in bed. She was like really sad, like something happened at work or something. She was all sad. And she's like, oh no, just don't feel like this, whatever. I don't feel like doing whatever. And he just said, right, fine, give up. And she was like, well, I'm not going to do that. And he said, right, so
get up.
Like get on with it. And that's kind of, it's true. It's like if you hit failure, I will never give up just because I think that's stupid. So the alternative is just I may as well just keep going.
That's in terms of like work and stuff. I told Joel this. So when he was going on his first date with his new girlfriend Eden, the best by the way, Eden, the best. She's great.
Love you.
I just said to Joel, I was like, right, if you were pretty worried about it maybe not going as well as you thought it could have, and I was like, Joel, if you're gonna fail, it's either gonna be a really funny story for the boys, or it's not gonna fail and it's gonna go great. It's a win-win scenario. Do you know what I mean? You're just gonna.
That was some of the best advice I ever got in life in general. Came from the big man,
and it worked out.
It worked out very well.
So it was a win.
Himself, yeah.
Well, if you, no one go look, she's stunning. It's a joke. You're brilliant. Yeah, I don't know how I'm doing it, but you're right.
Yeah,
I went
it's
there with
either
that
funny
mentality.
or it goes great.
Yeah. So a lot of people could take a lot away from your advice.
I honestly, genuinely, I go in. I used to be really, really self-conscious. I have quite sweaty hands and stuff, and Joe will tell you this. I used to not even want to go for job interviews or anything because the initial shaking of the hand and
Tell
stuff.
me about it.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But eventually, I just was like, look, this is either going to be a really bad interview, but that's fine. Like, I really don't mind if I get this job or not.
Yeah.
Or I get the job, great. I'm just going to go for it. Like, and I very rarely get scared of entering a room of people. Like, I'm just kind of like, oh, well, I'm here, so I've got to do it.
That's it. You just gotta. There's a little voice in your head that you can kind of listen to, and if you hear it being like nervous or whatever, you can just tell it to shut up or just ignore it and keep going anyway.
The sweaty hands is annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have the exact same thing.
Is it hyperdrolysis?
Yeah, something like I've looked it up. I was like,
Is there actually a way to fix that?
You can get a gland under your armpit snipped.
Can you really?
You can, but that
is it
also...
just your hands?
It's just my hands.
Is it?
It used to be quite a few places, but it's just my hands.
Is there
now.
side effects to it? Like, will it do something else?
That's the thing. If you get your gland snipped, it can make somewhere else on your body really sweaty. So I wouldn't want to get like a sweaty bum because I wear sweats all the time, and that could be bad. Like
Honestly, as well, like, see, for the most part, it's actually not that bad. Like, it's not like your hands are dripping. Like, it might just be a wee bit moist.
They were
So
bad in
that's
school.
Did you like wet the exam paper?
Yeah, I ripped my history paper, my GCSE
From-
history paper. I had a page written, ripped it, and I was like,
Oh shit.
Is he trying to explain that?
yeah, I just had to restart. Like, I got a D in that paper. It's the worst exam I've ever done. Yeah.
See, from the outside in, though, like, honestly, I now know because I've shaken Ethan's. I had enough time, like, I just know that he gets sweats, but I didn't even notice
Yeah.
with you,
No,
honestly.
did you not
and
know?
no, didn't, honestly,
Really bad.
because most people
Sorry.
aren't
Yeah.
for that sort of thing. I used to be so self-conscious of a whole bunch of things, and then you actually just realise. I remember I brought up one of the things I was really insecure about, and the person laughed, and I initially I was a bit like hurt, because like, well, that's really important. Then I was like,
Yeah.
oh, actually, they're serious. Like, they never even notice it. So why am I so
Like,
worried?
everyone's
about it?
so caught up thinking about their sweaty hand or their, like, you know,
Insecurities.
insecurity that they're not even worrying about yours.
No, honestly.
That's my thing. I actually want to pick your brain a wee bit here.
Cool.
So thinking in the future, where do you see yourself in like 5 years, like for each other? Where do you?
I'll let you shoot first, mate.
Let me shoot first. Okay, so we're saying 5 years.
Say 5 years.
Okay, 5 years. I really think that we'll probably still be doing something quite similar, to be honest. I think you'll be, well, you basically are already, but you're still at uni. Ethan will be with me full time. I think we'll I'll probably be doing a lot more live shows, touring and stuff like that. But I still just see us having the crack, making videos. Or even if we're, listen, I'll be 30 in 5 years, so I might not be making like TikTok videos, but I might be doing more TV or whatever it happens to be. Really, for me, like, if I can keep doing what I'm doing now, or at least keep being as passionate as I am about it now, I'm pretty happy. Hopefully, have a house, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Like, city life's good, but I mean, it's very small, so.
I'll be 27 in 5 years, so I'll be married and have 5 kids. Is that how it's going to go? No.
Married and 6 kids, buddy.
Yeah, the plan for me
Mission
will be
marks.
to work with Joel. I hope to take on the marketing and sales area of, so if we're pitching brands and stuff, I'd like to be at a point where I can take that on full time.
Yeah.
I would like to live, more or less, honestly. I'd like to live in Belfast though, for sure. So
Do you both want to be, you know, staying in Belfast, or would you?
I think I always try to look in things of like a 1 year ahead rather than 5 years, which is stupid because maybe you don't get a big vision, but I change my mind on things so fast, so often that like I never thought I'd be living in Belfast. That was a real snap decision, so
Yeah.
who knows, like I might want to live in the country next year, I don't know.
we might end up in Croatia, you know.
And also I'm totally happy to pivot. Like I might wake up 6 months from now and just be like, I do not want to make TikTok videos anymore, and I'm completely okay with that. And I think that's possibly a good thing.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of do what I'm feeling. I'm whatever I'm doing, I'll work hard at it. But like if I want to, I don't know, be like a kids TV presenter in 6 months and do that, I'll just go after it and not really worry about changing too much.
Opportunities are mad with you guys. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a wide, like.
We don't see it that way sometimes, which actually is probably our biggest. We're coming to terms with this at the minute. Is we self-sabotage an awful lot because we maybe. I think maybe because we only really see each other a lot of the time,
Yeah,
we forget that like
Small
people
about
actually do
ourselves.
want to work with us and they do other things. So we wouldn't reach out to people and we wouldn't really put ourselves forward things that we absolutely could do.
But
So
there's a
we're
lot
trying
of
to learn
like, there's a lot of people I know that, again, may sound a bit up ourselves, but if Joel sent a DM to someone like we were talking about, we love Brad Lee. I don't know if you know who that is. He's a
I'll get on his
entrepreneur
stuff, he's
podcast
awesome.
guy. He's class.
Bomb
There's
squad.
no problem if Joel's in Vegas. He could definitely get on that podcast. But again, I think Joel's a bit too humble at times, so I just tell him like just ask, like, and you'll see what happens.
Yeah,
If it's a
tell
no
him.
again,
And every
sorry.
time you do, actually usually get it.
Yes.
That's what's mad. That's I'm really come to terms, and actually, Big Tommy up there has been really helpful for both of us. Like that, like the amount you hold yourself back is actually stupid. And I never really used to understand. People were like, "You're the only thing that holds you back." I'm like, no, it's not. There's loads of stuff, but that's true.
Yeah.
Every single time I've taken a leap, or you've taken a leap, it's because you just started doing something that you already were well able to do.
Yeah.
It's you versus you at the end of the day,
It
isn't it?
is,
Yeah.
yes.
Just taking the action.
I never really understood that, so I think I probably still don't fully understand it.
See, if you weren't doing the magic or the TikTok, what would you be doing? Do you think?
I think you'd be like a pimp.
No. I'd be a rapper. I had a rap song out when I was 17 as well, but that'll never see the light of day.
Do you still have it
On YouTube?
I have it on my phone. I'll show you it after. I'll show you it. I was actually thinking that it could be kind of funny to remake it now on TikTok. Be like, clip it,
that'd be
clip it.
good.
But again, if I was to do something other than what I'm doing right now, I would love to have a podcast where I talk about football. I would love to. Football's my life, man. I love it.
Big LFC, man.
Well, he's not, but he came to Paris with us for the Champions League
Did.
final this year.
It was
so-
good fun.
What was it like?
Listen,
Yeah, it was
I
great.
got the best of both worlds because
Other than the game.
I got to hang out with the fellas, got to eat the food, got to go to Paris. But see, when they lost, I didn't care.
Yeah.
So I got to enjoy the rest of my
Everyone else
life.
depressed.
Everyone else was like, there were people walking around like kicking cans and stuff, and I was like, "That's what a night."
Yeah, you were having a great time. Even after a while, I was like, you know what? It's a game of football, and I am a massive Red. Like, I love that club.
You were more
It's-
depressed. I was so surprised. Like Dad even was like, "I don't really care. Like I'm just happy to be here with the boys."
Yeah.
Everyone else was like, don't even talk about it.
Halfway through the game, actually, I was wetting myself. Ethan at one point was like, "Oh, screw this," because they were just clearly losing. So Ethan just left to go to a burger van, wasn't even watching the game, and he was in such bad form. But it was
Yeah.
almost like so bad it was funny.
Yeah.
Like anytime anyone said it to him, he was like, "Oh," he was just
Oh.
so. It was really annoying you.
That was probably the first time I've been. Oh, look, I was a wee bit smashed as well. I'm not sure.
I couldn't help.
I really hope Dad doesn't watch
As was everybody at that game.
I'll give you a wee. You don't even know this yet. So it was expensive for a pint. There was €9 a pint or something like that, or
Yeah.
whatever it was. Heineken.
You wouldn't
as
be
well.
throwing them away then?
Oh no.
Every wee trip. just
Every
like-
trip counted, sort of thing. So thankfully, Dad was in charge of the beers that day. So
Yeah.
I would be in charge of getting the beers. So my tactic
The most
was,
important job, yeah.
Very much so. My tactic was
I know this, by the way.
go buy. Does Dad know?
No.
Okay, great. He will know. My
Clip this, clip this.
clip it, delete. I went by myself. I'd order 4 pints.
Yes.
One for me, one for Joel, one for Dad, and one for me to sink at the van. And I must have done that about 6 times, so I probably had like 12 or
And also
13
every
pints.
pint that I was handed, I didn't drink. I just would hold it until Ethan was done his and go, "Here, do you want that?" So I didn't drink
Yeah,
that day.
well, it was pretty bad actually. And my dad doesn't know I vape either, so I was.
What about like jewelry and like tattoos? Are you supposed to do?
I have a good few tattoos. I love rings. I usually have my nails painted, but I took it off because I went to church yesterday.
Oh.
Right,
They not like
Ethan's
the
going to
nails
church.
painted?
I just was like, listen, I don't really care that much, but I wanted to be respectful to my girlfriend's grandparents.
Yeah.
And going in with like a horseshoe unlucky ring and
Yeah.
like goth probably wasn't the best. You know, it wouldn't be your Sunday best. Put it that way. So I have a few that are magic related. So I used to do a trick where I would like borrow a ring off someone and take it and go like, and the ring would disappear, and people would always say, "It's up your sleeve," and I would go, "Oh, there's nothing up my sleeve,"
Yeah.
like that, and have the word "nothing" with the thing. So that was where I got that one.
That's where that came from?
That's where that came from.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I have good story behind this one actually. So I got this one, it says abracadabra, but you can't really tell. So
Yeah.
when I'm out for dinner with people who don't know me that well, whatever, a lot of people will say, "Oh, what's that say?" And I'll always say, "Oh, Anastasia," then move on. And obviously my girlfriend's not called Anastasia, and they go, "Oh, why?" And I go, "Oh, ex-girlfriend," and move on. And you can just see the girls like instantly go, "I see red." That's
What
really
does your
fun.
mom say when you say that? It's what she knows.
Oh, she knows the crack. She's happy to sit there and take it.
Yeah.
But I have a good few. That one's just brownie. What else do I have? 1997, in case I ever forget. And Memento Mori, there somewhere.
Yeah. I don't have any.
No,
No,
not
I would like one, but again, I just don't know what I get. Like,
Yeah.
I guarantee I'd get something now and really regret it in 2
Yeah.
years' time.
What does it take to be big on TikTok?
Well, I'll see if you agree. For me, I think it has everything to do with like your workflow and your mental attitude, and has almost nothing to do with TikTok. Like, I can explain to someone how to make a viral TikTok video in like 10 seconds, but the hard bit is actually getting them to do it. So I think firstly, don't do it unless you actually want to do it, and because you like making the videos, because you'll just never compete with someone who actually does want to do it and will just outlast you. That's the first thing. If you do want to do it, there's loads of tricks, but you already know them. Like, have good lighting, have a good hook, have a call to act. Like, people know that. So I think what it is it's consistency and being willing to sacrifice, I think. So for 2 years over lockdown, when I decided I wanted to do it, it was like a decision. Like, I did nothing else. Basically, like,
You live
no
stream
TV.
4 hours a day, every day.
There's no secret, and don't get me wrong, other people that are more talented than me that could do it in a lot less work, absolutely, yeah. But the people I know that have the same numbers work really, really hard at it. I think, over lockdown, I pretty much woke up, planned video, filmed video, edited video, live stream, repeat, and did that for a year and a half, no breaks, no days off. I don't think it requires that, by the way, to get, like, if I was to go back, I'd probably be a bit easier on myself. But the point is that people want, like, what's it take? Like, what's the trick? And it's like, well, the trick is, like, 2,400 videos in 2 years.
Mad. One thing I wanted to ask was about manifesting. Do you do it, or like Is that something you practiced before, like
I think we
tricks
do.
or?
I think we've kind of accidentally been doing it for quite a while. I certainly don't believe that if you just think of something that happens, that's. But I also don't think that's what manifesting actually is. I think people just watch the movie The Secret and they think, oh, so I just sit here and. Which we know, like the message behind that movie and all those books is amazing, but you have to do the work. And like absolutely everything. I had a real weird moment I was telling you where I was going up the lift to the apartment and I was like, oh, and I thought back and found an old notebook and like I mean every single thing in exact detail that I was living right now was what I had written like 4 years ago and I hadn't even thought about that for a long time. I think it's absolutely the things you focus on most that they become your life for sure.
I'd agree.
And you can do that intentionally and I think most people that are very successful are just doing it without even knowing they're doing it, you know. And whether you believe it's the universe or just whether it's our brain or whether it's God or whatever, I think it's common sense now. If you think about something long enough and you really desire it, your brain is a good way of figuring out how to get it. So
You had
goals
an
are important.
exercise that you made me do. It was you have to be really brutal with yourself. Like I was like, whoa, do I really think this about myself? So you start with is it current me, and then you future me. You split a page in half, and you have to be really brutal with where you are. And
what you
so
think.
I said like I am lazy, I'm this, and then you change. I am hardworking, I am this. And within the space of about 6 months, you've probably seen the biggest change in me.
Oh, it's unrecognizable.
Like,
Ethan's a
it's-
different person than he
yeah.
was 6 months ago.
And that applies to everything. Like it's obviously great for the TikTok videos and stuff, but even at like uni work, I was never able to balance like assignments and being home with Joel and putting out my own content. Whereas now, I kind of am, and like I just have to you just have to focus on what you really want. I think.
If someone came to you, looking like someone off the street, looking for one piece of advice on to do with magic and one piece of advice to do with TikTok, what would you personally give them?
Practical piece of advice and then like a kind of fun mantra. I'll try and give you two. Biggest practical piece of advice, which I find made the biggest difference for me, is sleep more. Honestly, the amount of people I know that are really talented and hardworking but just don't sleep enough, so they're not creative and stuff. Like get 8 hours sleep. That's my biggest piece of advice I give to everyone. Second one, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. So be really mindful as to what you spend your time doing. I get to enjoy a really fun life doing what I love, but that's because I basically don't get to do anything else. I loads of the stuff that people look forward to in their young early 20s and teenage years I missed out on, and for me that's worth it. But you can't. I don't think you can have it all, not at least at every point in your life. So you have to really focus on what do I really want. Like when I look back as an old man, what am I gonna regret not having done, and then put all your actions in alignment with that. So that's what I would say is a piece of advice.
I would say the two main ones for me would be if you're already doing it as well, or if you're wanting to get started on TikTok or YouTube or anything, any of the social platforms, don't care what other people think. Genuinely, not that many people do care. They're just kind of liking to get a bite out of you, and if they can get that, they win. So don't care what other people think. And the second one is don't get obsessed with the views and the comments. Just get obsessed with the content you're putting out, because that's what makes the best content, which will bring the views and comments with it.
That's unreal. Actually, like we ask everyone that question, and everyone says something different. Even ourselves, we can learn from that. So, is there any big shows or anything coming up, or where can people find you?
Not live shows as for now. It's mainly just private stuff I'm doing. I think we'll probably tour in the next year, so we'll keep an eye out for that. But I mean, the best place to keep up to date is probably hilariously Instagram. Like TikTok's the big one, but you can't post stories. So or you can, but nobody sees them. So I think get us on Instagram. And again, if you're the type of person listening to this, you're probably the type of person we'd love to have a chat with. So drop us a DM. We will read it and we will respond. Or maybe DM Ethan first, because he's better at reading than I am. And if you're watching this and you haven't already subscribed to these guys, because some people do watch and don't, then do it now, or you're a pussy.
Do it right now, actually.
I appreciate
Take action.
Actually sitting down with you guys. It's been really, really good. I've actually manifested this myself, so that's what me and Ross. So much respect to yourselves.
Well, for our first podcast that I've been on, I've had a fantastic time as well.
Can we just
so
appreciate the arm muscles?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The shoulders, mate. You're
I see the arm.
Yeah, on the big one.
It's a big round of applause for Ross, guys.
The triceps will be busting now.
I know, well, you see it properly being and all, yeah, so that is us from the Young Hunger podcast. Thank you for everyone for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.